This week in boxing has had a bit of everything. First up, Shalom is pushing for Richard Riakporhe versus Joe Joyce November 15th. Interesting fight, but honestly, I think Joyce will be too big. Riakporhe needs to work on his mobility, or he'll just get walked down by the juggernaut. Remember Mitchell Smith, 2015's Young Boxer of the Year? He's now 32, 2 prison sentences later, and he's talking about one last big fight. He wants Archie Sharp, who himself has had his ambitions dented by Maxie Hughes and Ryan Garner. Smith sadly well and truly blew his potential, and I don't see him beating Sharp. Conor Benn says he still wants Mario Barrios after the Eubank fight on November 15th. And who can blame him? Barrios is there to be taken, and I think Benn beats Barrios every single time out. Now this is a fun one. Mosley says he'd take Terence Crawford over Floyd Mayweather in a mythical matchup. That's interesting, and I smell a future video coming on. Get in the comments, Crawford or Mayweather, who do you think? Meanwhile, Liam Paro's welterweight debut was anything but easy, but he got the job done. 12-round decision over David Papot in an IBF eliminator. Not flashy, but he keeps his career moving. Now on to the king of the wind-ups, Eubank Jr. He does make me laugh. He launched another attack on the British Boxing Board of Control and Eddie Hearn. He's now claiming that the board deliberately delayed his ambulance, which is borderline slander. But I do agree with him on the fines. They should go to a good cause. And Robert Smith, what's the crack? Where has that money gone? Terence Crawford stirred the pot too, saying Jake Paul is way too big for Gervonta Davis. But I think Terence needs to chill his boots because this is not a real fight. On a more heartfelt note, I went back and read Ricky Hatton's Best I've Faced. You know what? Unlike 99% of fighters, who always tend to pick fighters they beat to make themselves feel better, look better, Ricky was just brutally honest. Best jab, Eamon McGee. Best puncher, Pacquiao. Most skillful and smartest, Mayweather. Strongest, Wanarango. Best overall, Mayweather. Again, classic Hatton, completely honest to a fault, and he gave respect where it was due. Elsewhere, Callum Walsh says he was disappointed in the Vargas display and he wants a November turnaround. He should be bloody disappointed as well. He was really sloppy, especially defensively. If he steps up to world class, he needs to be better. But it's good to see that the kid's got standards. Nick Ball wants Angelo Leo in early 2026. That'd be a good fight. Ball would start a big favourite for me though. Aim results, Brandon Moore outboxed DeAndre Savage. Savage by name, not by nature. Oscar Collazo kept his WBO, WBA and ring minimum weight belts with a 7th round stoppage of Jason Vason, but the end left absolutely everybody scratching their heads. Vason was under pressure but still fighting back, when out of nowhere his own corner jumped up and waved it off. Gabriela Fundora remained the queen of the flies as she stopped Edmonton's Alexis Iron Woman Kabuki in 7 rounds. Gutsy from Kabuki, but clinical from Fundora. Elsewhere, Chris Mannix reckons Canelo vs Crawford 2 is the best financial move for both men. It absolutely is, but Chris, why are you putting this idea in their heads? Nobody wants to see this rematch. Crawford's proved his point, let's move on. In between getting mad at Eubank Jr and making fights, Eddie Hearn is pushing Usyk over Crawford in the pound for pound debate. For me, pound for pound is simple. It's who beats who if they're in the same weight, and I think Crawford beats Usyk. So that's it for this week, fight fans. Is Mosley right about Crawford Mayweather mythical matchup? Was Eubank Jr out of line, or was he spot on? And is there any appetite for Canelo vs Crawford 2? Let me know in the comments. This is The Fight Fan. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.